Hey guys, what's going on? Hope you're having a great day, and in today's video I'm going to be ranking my top 10 non-Force users in all of Star Wars. Now this is just my personal opinion, so if you have a list of your own, you can leave it in the comments down below. And without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so starting off at the number 10 spot, we have Shriv from Star Wars Battlefront 2. So we only get to see him in Star Wars Battlefront 2, but in my opinion is probably the best character in the campaign. He's just an awesome, epic, and funny character, and there's not too much more to say about him, but in my opinion, he's my number 10. Okay, so at my number 9 spot, I have Finn. Now Finn is only seen in The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, and a lot of people don't like the story of Finn in The Last Jedi. They think it's pointless and stuff like that, and if that's what you think, then that's your opinion, and I won't try and change that. But Finn, in my opinion, is one of the best new characters in the new trilogy. Getting to see him realizing the tyranny of the First Order and meeting Poe was great. By the way, is it just me that the scene in The Force Awakens where Poe and Finn meet and are in the TIE Fighter is one of the best scenes in the movie? When I saw that in the theater, I just knew the rest of the movie was going to be great. Also, after leaving the First Order, instead of just moving to the Resistance, he actually wanted to leave and run away from everything because he thought there was no hope for the galaxy. And I thought that was a really kind of different take on a Star Wars character, and I really enjoyed that about his character. But in The Last Jedi, we get to see the progression of his character. He turns from someone who wants to run to someone who wants to fight the thing that he hates so much. So the Canto Bight sequence wasn't really pointless after all. I agree that it wasn't the strongest part of the movie. It was probably my least favorite set of scenes, but it still had a purpose and it did fulfill its purpose in the movie. So those are my thoughts of the character of Finn, and that's going to be my number 9 spot in the list. Alright, so at my number 8 spot we have Tarkin. Now, in general, his story is really cool, seeing him in the Clone Wars, Rebels, Rogue One, and A New Hope. Him overall is just a fierce, strategic, and very awesome villain serving for the Empire. The only thing I wish was done differently is I wish he was a little more different in the Clone Wars from A New Hope. I just think that Tarkin in the Clone Wars was a perfect reflection of him in A New Hope, and I wish he was a little bit different, seeing it that it was like 23 years apart. But overall, it's just a great character, and he is at my number 8 spot. Okay, so at my number 7 spot, I have Boba Fett. So Boba Fett is probably the most iconic bounty hunter we've seen in Star Wars. He's shown all in the Clone Wars, Episode 5, and unfortunately dies in Episode 6, unless he escaped the Sarlacc pit, which, by the way, let me know if you think he survived in the comments below. The main thing I wish was changed was the mystery of the character. We see his face in live action and see what he will look like in the future. The mystery of the character was kinda lost in Attack of the Clones, but his story arc in the Clone Wars was very satisfying in my opinion, and he makes for a great bounty. The arc in the Clone Wars where Boba is pretending to be a clone cadet and he's trying to sabotage the Republic cruiser to kill Mace Windu is a really great arc, and seeing him working with Aurra Sing and Bossk and all these other bounty hunters is really awesome, and that was one of my favorite arcs in Star Wars Clone Wars. Also, the episode in the Clone Wars called Bounty, when he works with all these other bounty hunters and Asajj Ventress, was a really awesome episode. Also, seeing him totally get owned by Asajj Ventress was really cool, and also seeing his first set of armor that he made was really awesome. So in my opinion, Boba Fett is my number 7 spot. Okay, at the number 6 spot, I have Lando Calrissian. So Lando is a character that I wasn't really that amazed by after seeing episode 5 and 6. The acting was great and everything about the character was great, but he just didn't really pop to me like he did with everyone else. But after seeing him in Rebels, my interest in him grew a little bit, but after seeing him in Solo: A Star Wars Story, I just loved him, and he's one of my favorite characters in the movie. Also, seeing him in Star Wars Battlefront 2 improved my interest in him. Seeing him around Shriv was great. Their hate relationship was really awesome, and I really wanted to see more of that. But yeah, overall, Lando is a great character, and I have him at my number 6 spot. Okay, so coming in at the number 5 spot, right in the middle is Cad Bane. So Cad Bane, in my opinion, is absolutely, no doubt about it, the coolest bounty hunter in all of Star Wars. He's seen a lot in Star Wars The Clone Wars, but I don't think we've seen him in any of the other shows or movies, for sure not the movies or shows. I'm not totally sure about the comics, I haven't read really any of them, but he could be in there. Let me know if he is in one of the comics and I'll check it out. But I really wanted to know how he died and when it happened. Overall, his outfit is amazing, from his cowboy-like hat to his steampunk rocket boots, and also the sound of his blaster sounds so good. That's probably my favorite sound of a blaster in all of Star Wars. Also, he's the only bounty hunter in history, at least as far as I know, to steal a Jedi holocron and escape with it. That whole arc in general was really cool, but I think my favorite episode in that arc was probably the first one, seeing how he stole the Jedi holocron. Really awesome and really great. Also, the arc with Obi-Wan kind of in disguise working with the bounty hunters was a really awesome arc, and seeing Cad Bane in there was really awesome, and he's just as amazing as he ever was. So in my opinion, he is going to be my number 5 spot. So at my number 4 spot, I have Captain Rex. Now Rex is probably the coolest clone trooper out of all of them, from serving Anakin Skywalker in the Clone Wars to helping the Rebels through the desperate fight against the Empire. He's just an all-around awesome character. We see him all throughout the Clone Wars TV series, the Rebels TV series, and it is confirmed that he did fight on the Battle of Endor, seen in Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. So if you haven't seen the Clone Wars TV show, he was the leader of the 501st Clone Battalion, and after the incident with the Clone Trooper 5s, which by the way is my second favorite clone trooper, Rex removed his inhibitor chip so he was not affected by Execute Order 66. Overall, he's just an awesome clone trooper with a great story arc, and he's going to be my number 4 spot. Okay, so coming in 3rd place, I have Thrawn. So Thrawn is a character that was brought from Star Wars Legends to canon in Star Wars Rebels, and I believe was in the series for 2 seasons, the last 2 seasons. His skill and strategy is not the same as the standard Imperial officer. He learns from his opponents so he can let them rip themselves apart. He studies the art and the stories of his opponents so that he can beat them with ease. Overall, he is my favorite Imperial villain, other than Vader and Sidious, but those are Sith, so they don't count in this list. Okay, so coming in at the number 2 spot, I have Chewbacca. So Chewbacca is in 7 Star Wars movies, I believe, and 1 episode in Star Wars The Clone Wars. He's in Episode 3, Solo Star Wars Story, Episode 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and he was in the episode Wookiee Hunt. And in Solo A Star Wars Story, we get to see Chewie in how we always wanted to see him. By the way, spoiler alert for the next 10 seconds. Okay, still here? Okay. We get to see him rip arms out of someone's sockets. That's amazing. And also we get to see him throw someone over his shoulders like a toy doll. But even in all of the other Star Wars movies, his humor and relationship with Han is amazing and just brings a smile to your face every time you see him. Also, the mix of him and Han is just a perfect match, and he is going to be in my number 2 spot. Okay, so at the number 1 spot, you probably saw this coming, it's going to be Han Solo. So Han is the most iconic smuggler in all of Star Wars. His first appearance was in A New Hope. The first time you see him, you just love him. In Episode 5, we see him a lot, and is just as cocky as in A New Hope. But he was frozen in carbonite, but in Episode 6, they freed him, and he became a leader of an elite squad to head down to the planet Endor. Thanks to him, the shields around the second Death Star were destroyed, and also he helped destroy the first Death Star by saving Luke Skywalker and allowing him to shoot a torpedo down that little hole to destroy the entire Death Star. He also helped destroy Starkiller Base in The Force Awakens, but unfortunately he met an end by his son who killed him. Like I said with Chewbacca, him and Chewie are the ultimate duo, and he's just the ultimate non-Force user character in all of Star Wars, and he is my number 1 spot. Now, like I said at the beginning of the video, if you have a list of your own, you can leave it in the comments below, and I would love to read your comments and your opinions. But that's going to be it for today. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like rating down below, and if you want to see more Star Wars content, click the subscribe button and the little bell icon. But that's going to be it for today, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.